remember this from yesterday? I need to. It's your test paper. So everybody used to call it a spot test. So you remember this from welcome back and welcome to those of you who weren't here yesterday. Yesterday was more of an introduction telling about the history and how the notation developed and how the Benesh notation developed. And it's the 5 lines of the stave, and it corresponds with music. So it reads from left to right as with music, so you can put rhythm with it. But we will deal with that as well today. And it's based on Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. And he has the 2 figures standing and like that. So, with the circle. But he put the 5 lines he drew, the top of the head, the neck, the waist, and the knees and the feet. So, but they were different widths. So eventually it was pushed together to be the same width. But you can fit everything in, and it is logical once you know it. Okay, so we start. We all here. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Well, good afternoon again, and welcome back. Now, you might have seen this before, people standing in those positions, and I'll go through it all very slowly so you won't miss out. Somebody's just arrived. And again, I'd just like to say that these drawings were done by the same guy, the pictures that you saw yesterday, which is in Holland, the Dutch National Ballet. He's now in his 80s and still designs and dance with class choreography and stuff. I just think it's so real the way he does it. And remember, the main thing to remember is also what we said yesterday, is that we look at the dancer from behind. So we record when we see the dancer like this, whatever the dancer does. Moves, it's always, you're moving with the dancer the whole time. So you're actually the dancer. So even although you see it from the front, you've got to put yourself behind the dancer. Okay, so, and I presume most of us are familiar with ballet's 5 basic positions of the feet. From the top left, you see the dancer standing in first position, and with the heels touching. To the right of that, in a comfortable second position, with the heels apart. And then we have the third position, in the middle, with the heel of the front foot snuggling against the arch of the back foot, which is like that. So in the nape of the foot. The dancer standing on the bottom left has the perfectly crossed fourth position, which is like that. So the one foot's in front, the one's behind. And then we have the fifth position, which is the feet are tightly crossed. And not everybody can get a perfect fifth position. Sometimes it is, a little bit open or so. But the idea is that it looks like that. Some people overdo it and they end up with ankle problems. Okay. In the second position on the left, which shows the feet apart, see here you've got the feet apart, you've got the second position. The 2 level sides are placed just below the bottom line, meaning they are flat on the floor. So the floor line is for flat on the floor, for on the balls and on point. Okay, so when they're below the line like that, it is flat on the floor. It is, with the heels on the floor. And the similar situation where the 2 feet are joined in first position. And remember, the level sign always means level with the body. In fifth position, the 2 feet are joined in the same manner as the first position, but with the black dot in this case on the left. So we've got the black dot on the left, which is the left foot then behind in the fifth position. But the feet are still level. So in the third position, but there's a bit of line sticking out. Like the toes of the left foot, if you look at the picture. But remember, even though we see the use of the dot, identifying the left foot as behind, the tightness of the position determines it is still level with the body. So it's the one is behind, the one is level, written as level, but it's still level with the body. Now here is the fourth position. The one on the left is where you have the weight being in between the two separated feet, and the sides touch, meaning they are properly one in front of the other in the fourth, in this position. So they are like that. So the sides are touching, not like in the fifth position, they are touching. It says the one is in front, the one is behind, but they are touching because it is crossed. And then we have the one next to it, which is the open position, so they are not touching, which says there is a space in between. But the one is in front and the one is behind. The basic signs is a level sign is for level with the body. The vertical line is in front of the body, and the dot means anything behind the body. Okay. Of course, there are other ways to clarify the separation of the feet other than in the normal ballet positions. For that, we would use indications for foot lengths or foot widths apart, which was developed within the Benesh clinical syllabus. So you could either have a second position that is, the normal one is kind of, if you point the one foot out to the side and then you lower the heel, that's a normal fifth position. But sometimes you see dancers go. So that's a wider, so you would have to, if that's in choreography, you would have to specify how wide it is. Although not initially apparent, and don't get confused when you see all that, as one learns the purpose of the signs, you will gradually become aware of the signs used to show the extremities, the feet and the hands, and where they are placed and moved around in the stave. So the feet and the hands are your extremities, in this case. I'm not talking about the head as an extremity now. To indicate the movement of the body, and hopefully you will gradually become aware of your own body, feeling the posing and moving within the 3 dimensions. So even if you're an older person, in your body, you still feel the position as a youthful person who can manage the movement. Okay, in A, I'll explain it to you. The dancer faces toward the corner. And the left hand is above the head, but slightly in front. Therefore, you see the vertical line that indicates it is in front of the body. The right hand is out to the side, level with the body, and she is standing on her left foot, which is vertically below the body, so we use a level sign. And then the other foot is in front, which is a vertical sign, and that's in line with the waist. In B, she is standing on her left foot, which is level. Sorry?
What is that? The big dot at the bottom below the
I'll show you, tell you just now. She is standing on her left foot in B, which is level with the body. The right foot is out to the side, which is just below the knee height and level with the body. Both hands are out to the side, just below shoulder height. And in C, we have, again, if you look at the picture, again she stands on her left foot, which is level. The right foot is behind at waist height. The right hand is out to the side, which is not level but behind the body at mid-upper body height. Okay? So it's not with the waist, it's mid-upper body. And then the left hand is in front in line with the left shoulder. So that's your arabesque. You asked about this. Later on we'll get to direction signs where you're facing. It's just I throw these little things in so that your mind your brain reads it. So that one would be facing somewhere, and that one would be facing somewhere else, but I won't tell you yet. Okay. Okay. When the dancer stands on the balls of the feet, or if that part of the foot is in contact with the floor, the basic sign is superimposed on the floor line. When the dancer stands on point, or if that part of the foot is in contact with the floor, the basic signs would rest on the floor line, as you see there. In these three examples of static positions, the dancer stands supported on the left leg, which is level, in what we may now refer to as the coronal plane. In A, we have the tendu devant. Tendu devant, so you don't know the French terms or the names of the ballet thing. Tendu devant is when you point the foot in front. It's all the terminology is all in French. So when class is taught, it's always French terminology. The vertical sign is used for extremities placed in the area in front of the body, and in this case, rests on the floor line. In B, we have the tendu à la seconde. The level sign is used for extremities placed in the area level with the body. The level sign used for the right foot rests on the floor line. In C, we have the tendu derrière, static position, with the right leg derrière with the dot resting on the floor. In these three examples, I've got three examples, or two examples. I've got another one coming. Sorry, was that the right one? And then was the next one. Okay. In A, when the dancer stands, in these three examples of static positions, the dancer stands supported on the left leg, which is level in what we may now refer to as the coronal plane. That's what I've just done. In the number one sequence, we start with the tendu devant, so like that. In B, we rise up into fourth position, so you go from the tendu to the fourth position on demi-point, which is on the balls of the feet. And on C, you transfer forward onto the right foot, so that the left foot points tendu at the back. Then, we take the leg in D, the left foot to the side, and then in E, lowering left heel so both feet are flat on the floor in second position. In F, we transfer the weight onto the left foot with the right foot point tendu to the side. In the number two sequence, in A, we start in fifth position on demi-point, and that is on the balls of the feet with the right foot in front. We release the right foot in front. We lower the supporting foot in C. That's the left foot. In D, we take the so-called working leg, which is the one that's off the floor, to the side. So it's level with the body. And then in E, that supporting foot then rises in that position. And then in F, we lower the left heel while placing the right foot flat on the floor in second position. So from there, we go to the second position. Does it make sense to you?
I don't want to interrupt, but the little dots as opposed to the lines, does that signify the back leg or does it the left leg?
The back leg.
The back leg.
Anything that's a dot is at the back.
Okay.
If it's on the left side, you see this dotted line just gives you an idea there. It's written without the dotted line. We don't normally use the dotted line. It's just to indicate that which is the left and which is the right. If the dot is behind, level sign is level with the body, vertical sign is in front. Right. Okay. The dotted line shows, as I just said, the center of the frame is just a guideline for now. In this sequence, you may have noticed the mission of the so-called working leg in C and E. So in C and E, you don't see the leg that's lifted like there, or the leg that's lifted to the side. And that is because the lifted leg stays in the same position, and we therefore don't need to restate it. The supporting leg can never be left out because you have to have a leg to stand on. Okay, here we've got the closing positions. Into first position, we're using the right foot. It closes into first position from any position into first position. And we use the short diagonal lines to indicate that it's the right foot. If it was the left foot, which we'll show just now, it's on the other side. The diagonal line is then tilted, identifying the right foot. For closing in front into the fifth position, like there, devant, we use the vertical line which says I'm now closing in front, but it's in fifth position. And I'm still there. And an open dot to close behind. We also use this vertical line and open dot for closing in the third position. Okay. And this is now the same that we've just done with the left foot. So you see it closes in first, in fifth, devant, the left foot at the back, and then the third position is, because we don't have a fully crossed over position, it's in the nape of the other foot. So we've got that little line sticking out saying that there's still, it's not completely crossed. And then at the back the same thing. So the line goes through the open dot. And these are the static positions, corresponding positions that you see there. Okay, here we've got a sequence, and we start in fifth position. Alzo brava down here, with the left foot in front. In A, starting. In B, we tendre devant with the left foot. In C, we close devant with the left foot. In D, we tendre to the side in second position with the same foot. And in E, we close behind in fifth. And then in F, we tendre derrière here with the left foot. And in in G, we close that foot at the back. In H, we take the left foot to the second, from the back to the second, and then the left foot closes in front in fifth. Here we see the same closing positions that we've done before, which was on flat. Here we see them on demi-point, which is on the balls of the feet. Meaning standing on the balls of the feet, as I've said, the relevant static positions reached are directly below each closing sign. So those are the static positions that we've reached there. The static positions and the closing signs are superimposed on the floor line. So that part is superimposed there again. It is also superimposed, but because it's part of it there in the middle, it actually is superimposed on the line, the whole position. This is just the closing position. If you put it otherwise, it would get confused with it being flat on the floor. And that's another thing you might notice every now and then, that when we write, this is supposed to be superimposed on the line. If we write it below, technically we should actually let it touch the line at below and then be exactly superimposed and be exactly on top of the line, but it can get confusing. So sometimes we try to lift it a little bit more away from the line, so make it a little bit thicker, and then below the line, for flat, we separate it a lot of the time. Okay. And now we see all the same positions on full point. So everything, the closing positions, closing parts of the position is on point. And in the static one, here in first on point, it's resting on the line. Okay. This is, we will now look at two more sequences. Okay. This is the first one, where the working leg closes on demi point. There is a solid line preceding the starting position. After the starting position, you again see a center line in each progressive frame. Remember, this is not part of the final notation, but it is a reminder to keep in mind that each frame represents the body and its center, defining left and right. Each sequence ends with a double line. So it starts with this a solid line that says this is the beginning, and it ends with a double line which says this is the end, and that often corresponds with the music, which has double lines. Okay. Okay, in 1A, we have starting in fifth position, the right foot in front. In B, the right leg is lifted in front at calf height. In C, it lowers, the leg is lowered into fourth position. So it's across fourth position because it's touching. In D, lift the left leg to knee height at the back. In E, we lower it into fourth position. In F, the left foot tendus derrière. In G, it is taken to the tendu at the side. And in H, it closes the vong onto demi point. In this sequence, we're starting in fifth position again, with the right foot in front. The right leg is lifted in front at calf height. And then in C, the right leg is taken to the side a little higher. And in D, the right foot closes in fifth behind on demi point. And in E, the leg is lifted, that left leg is lifted in front at hip height. Okay, I can't hold it. In F, that leg from the front goes to the side at that same height. It's taken to the side. In G, the left leg is then lowered into the point tendu at the side. And in H, the left leg closes the vong onto demi point, and you've got your double line at the end of the sequence. Okay, we will now add movement lines for the legs that stay straight with when lifted. So we have movement lines for everything. We have movement lines if the arm does that, if the arm does that, if the leg does that, if the leg does that. So there's always a movement line to tell you how you reach the next position. They can either be lifted slowly or fast, as in the grand battement situation. The grand battement is when we do that. So slowly would be just lifting, or we can go with a beat. The movement line, excuse me, I'm warming up here. The movement line is an outward curve that is used to draw the path of the toes. Okay, so that movement line shows you that that's the route that the toes take to get there. So it can either go this way or that way. Go that way, so we've got a way to show that. Okay, here, with the beautiful drawings again, the dancer starts in fifth position with the right foot in front. She lifts her right leg in front to hip height, in that third drawing, and then she closes it back into fifth in front. Note that the foot moves through the tendu into being the tendu, which is that position, into being lifted off the floor. You're not just doing, usually the technique of a grand battement doesn't just do that. You have to go through the tendu to go up into the grand battement. Some people tend to just sometimes be lazy with it, but it has to move through. In fact, the proper technique is that there's a kind of a brush feeling that it goes through. Okay, now remember again that we see the dancer now from the front, but we should creep around the back of the inside of the dancer's body and view the dancer from behind. So what you see there is the dancer has got her left leg up because she's facing you, so he's got the left leg up there. So that is how we notate it the whole time. You can't sit at the back of the room because there are always a lot of dancers making a lot of racket and noise and running around, whatever. So you've got to sit in the front because you've got to hear what the choreographer says the whole time. So you've got to put it in your mind and switch it around. And sometimes the easier way to kind of feel that is to look at it from a corner, so that you can almost be half facing the same way, half not. So there the leg is then lifted in the grand battement up to the side and it closes in the devant. So it gets that round look because that's the root of the foot taking it. Here the dancer stands with the left foot behind and he lifts his leg to the back at hip height and then closes in fifth position behind. Now you might have wondered why that line is like a little curve. Because if you use a straight line, which I have not put in this notation, it means that the foot reaches that end position in a straight line. So it would be taking it would draw a straight line through the air to get there. So you would be doing that and not that or that, because that outward curve is for straight leg going up, and inward curve is for the leg to doing a développé. We will now, which I've got there, look at it. Okay. There you see the développé. Okay. The leg bends and then straightens in the process. An inward curve is used to trace the path of the toes. So it actually goes past the knee. So it goes up, caresses, in ballet terms, caresses the leg up to the knee and then lets go. Okay? Okay, good. So remember now. Okay, the dancer here again starts in fifth position with the right foot in front, and the toe of the right foot strokes the leg up, as I said, up to the knee, and the leg straightens out to the side. No, this is still to the front, sorry. I've got the développé wrongs there. And there you see the inward curve, saying it goes past via the knee up to the front. Up to the next one. And then this one will be to the back. Now remember, when we close, all that in between, the same thing with lifting and with the développé, when we close down, it would be going through the point of the foot, whether it's front or back. Otherwise, we would be doing something which we call an enveloppé, like an envelope. Okay. We can now start adding the arms. And we do the same thing with the arms in drawing the path of the arms. Okay? The first examples we will deal with are the positioning of the arms when they move level with the body, that is in the coronal plane, and the curved movement lines drawn in space are normally the exact reproduction of the paths drawn by the hands in relation to the body in space. Okay? They're the exact reproduction. In 1A, of course we're starting with the first position with the hands, which this position, as I mentioned before, it's called Braba. some people call it something else, some methods call it something else. They're not always right, they call it maybe at first, you could start with the arms here or like that. It depends on the method. Okay. Then the arms go to second position. That's also a second position. Like this is a second with the leg, this is a second with the arms. So it's level with the body. And then it goes up to level above the head. So it's level this way. Just trace it going out, and then trace it going upwards. And then in C, we've got it in one movement. Because you can do it like in 1 and 2, or you can do and 1. We've got different ways of using that to mold in with the music. In 2A and B, we see the similar situation, but there's a difference at the end that the arms have got in the front side. So sometimes, sometimes some dancers have got their arms some positions completely level above the head, but the actual classical regime is that they're slightly in front. So if you lift your eyes, you can see the pinky. So it's usually slightly in front. So that's that position. I'll talk about the attachment just now. Note in 1A and B, where the movement line is attached to the position reached, where the movement happens from inner to outer, the movement line is attached on the inside of the left side. So it's from inner to outer, the level sign is outside there. It was from outer to inner, it's attached on the outside. Because it will look very funny if it's attached on the outside. It will kind of look like you're doing something like that. Okay, and then you see the one completely going up again on the lower side when it's above, and on C as well. In 3A and B, when you open to the second, it's from inner to outer, so it's attached on the inside. And then when it comes down, now it's like the other one going up at the top, there it's attached at the top of that one. So it's attached at the bottom going up, attached at the top going down. Okay. Don't be too confused here. It's just to show a sequence of how they go up from the one to the other. So it goes that way, it goes to the second. And now it goes from there, it goes from outer D to inner. So it would go attached on the outside. From in E, it would attach on the outside, and in F on the outside. And then you've got the full one in one movement. Either way, if it's level or in front. This is in front, starting here, going in front there, in D it's reached the shoulder height, in E, top of the head height, and then in F it reaches there's an imaginary extra line to show you when it gets to the top. And then in G it's in one movement going up, in H in one movement going up, but attached to the level size.
Sorry, does the wiggly line indicate? I mean, it's deliberately wiggly.
You mean this little wiggly line?
Yes. Does the wiggly line indicate that it's going
in front? The wiggly line is actually a shorter line of those ones. So it's just a shorter line that does this. Okay, so I'm just going to use my place here. We get to this one. Okay, and here we now have going down the other way, moving progressively. Sorry, I think I've got the wrong. That's fine. Moving down progressively, it goes from there, but behind to the second. And in one movement, because sometimes you can get somebody doing that kind of movement. So it's sort of reaching further back. And moving up progressively from here, you could go via the back, if you have that kind of movement, to the side, and indeed in one movement, via the back. So you put that dot on the line to say it's going through the back. Okay. Okay. I think I've confused my papers. Anyway, I could just go on with that so far. If you look at this where the leg moves parallel with the floor, in front of the body, so you can have the arms doing this. You know, like in an arabesque, we often do this position into that. So if it goes from there to the side, it's usually an upward curve and down to the back. So it would be going via the side. You go to the side with an upward curve. To the back, you go with a downward curve. Okay, next one. And here we've got a similar situation where it goes upward curve, downward curve, and then suddenly you see something else there. The Directio line says that it moves smoothly, the top line, smoothly from the one position to the other. So it doesn't stop and stop. It goes smoothly to the next position. And then you see the half pulse beat, which we'll deal with just now. It goes and one, or and three, and four. So it moves quicker. And then to take that into one position, moving in front, moving behind, it goes up and then down to the back. Okay. So now we combine with the legs. Forget it. Combined with the legs, the arm and the leg movement from front to around the back, exactly the same thing happens. The arm moves up to the side, the leg moves up to the side, the arm moves down to the back, the leg moves down to the back. So there it goes down this way into the arabesque. So from there, round into the arabesque. You can go to the next one. And there, to compare with what that happens with the hands, here you have got something that also does in one movement. So the arms do that, and the leg does that at the same time. Which number are you now? Okay, sorry. Okay. So now we start adding arm movements combined with leg movements. I just showed you briefly that you can do it like that into the arabesque. So now we combine in one. We start with feet together at first, arms level above the head. And as the legs lifted to the side, the arms are brought down to the side. So you do that. And then it closes in first position. You can see that position going into that, and closing in first position. The arms haven't done anything on the third movement, okay? So they stay there. Stay there until you're told not to stay there anymore, in other words. In two, we start the same way. Now the leg goes up the front while the arms come down to there, and then close. The arms stay there. In three, now you see what I mentioned before about like with the développé, that the arms do from there. It doesn't do this now. It does from there and does this. So it goes past the body from there, this way. Okay? The same with the leg would do that, with the développé. So you do that. And it closes again. In four, you've got an inward line again. With the leg and with the arms, they would actually do this. So they can take that almost straight path. The same as the leg would do that to get to the front. But the arms do, no, not to there, not to down here. They go from there, they go into there. So it would be doing that. So it would be curving this way. It wouldn't do that. It would do this. And in five, you see something new here, which are two little lines, that means that they don't do this. They go via the furthest point in front, which is doing, the furthest point is there to get to the second. In other words, so they're doing, if you look from behind, that's what they're doing. The same with the leg, it would be doing that. Okay. In 6, we've got another situation where the arms are moving up to the top, and we have to put these lines there because that's the furthest point it goes via to get to the front. Now, those two lines are actually in front sides, but because the movement line goes via the front, we can't put them vertically on the line, so we don't see them. So they are put perpendicular to the line going up. So that means they're going via the first point in front, and then down via the furthest point, the back, to get down to there, because you've got the 2 dots there. So as I said yesterday, you know, a lot of it's very fine, so your eyes have to get used to. With the Cecchetti and RAD methods of training have been in South Africa for close to a century. The RAD, they're celebrating 100 years this year. The Cecchetti is actually a little bit younger, 90, in South Africa it's 90 something. They both have the examining syllabi and methods of training in their systems. The RAD examination syllabi is also printed in Benesh notation. So it's got the old thing of stand in 5th position, move your arms to first interval, then the next one we move it to this position, then we move it to, it's all written in longhand, which is a little bit, it's not always that clear. With it, so they publish it with notation and with that, so that if you know the notation, you just see it immediately. It doesn't take that long to figure out. The Benesh Institute, so it was independent for quite some years, as I said yesterday, but you weren't here, with the late Princess Diana as the patron. But when she got divorced, the Benesh Institute, and then because no more Royal Command performances, or they have to get the money in, so then they went over to the RAD. Okay, so it's caused a lot of problems, as Royal Family does today. So. These arm positions and those of the Boernovel school and other training methods are actually inseparable from classical ballet technique, and its development over a few centuries. The capabilities of the trained human body, together with all the training methods and innovations of choreographers, make the possibilities seem infinite, and an amazing amount of movement to be notated. Okay, so it's incredible. The body is, they find, even with choreographers, they find all sorts of different ways of getting from one movement to another movement, and it's just challenging the whole time. It's endless. I wouldn't think so, because we've just got 2 arms, 4 extremities, a head and a body. It can do the most incredible things. Also, what I wanted to say about the publication, the Cecchetti system, it also published all the original stuff in Benesh. There's also the Boernovel classes also, which I've got at home. It's sometimes fun because you've got the music as well. Just if you just read it and everything. And sometimes I look at what I've got notated and I see something on the video which is done by somebody later or somebody else, and it's not quite the same. So, they didn't have the notation to refer to, which was supposed to be the authentic things. So it's just very interesting study. Here we've got the movement, we've got the basic positions, and then the next one. We've got the movement lines of each. This is just roughly to show you there's differences in their basic arm positions. Cecchetti starts with the first here, and then go to a demi second, and then a second. Whereas RAD starts bra bar here, they go to the first there, and a demi bra, and a demi second, and then a second. There's all that difference. And the Boernovel again is similar sometimes to the Cecchetti in that it gets the first, it starts bra bar again, goes to first year, then second, and then a third down here where some people go higher. So there's a little bit of differences in each way, each system, each country is done. But then you get to the professional world and everybody does the same thing. Okay, here we get to the timing. This is now just simple timing. We've got the pulse, full pulse beats, so it's 1, 2, 3, and they are divided up into sub-beats. And like if you count in music 2, 1 to anti, 2 to anti, 3 to anti, 4 to anti, it's the same. But we have to, you put those signs above the notation if something happens on that music. Like you might go 1 te, 2 te, 3 te, 4 te. So you put them all 1. If you go 1 and, so when it reaches that position, you have to use those subbeats. So this is to familiarize you with that. When we actually use them, you might, if you see in music, you've got a full note, you've got a half note, a quarter note. So if you have a full note, it is divided up into 2 half notes. The look is different. The full note looks different to the half note. And if you divide it up even more, they become quarter notes when they're divided up into 4. They're 4 quarter notes, they look different. When you use the Benesh, this part of this, the count always stays the sign. So that we say when it happens, when the moving happens, on that first count. Okay, so there, as it's divided up in the music, it corresponds with the music, and there's you see how we, it's so simple to write to the music in Benesh. And everything is a 2/4, we call it 2. It's a 3/4, we call it 3. 4/4, we call it 4. It's a 6/8, it can be a 2, because it's 1, 2. Okay, can we go on to the next one?
Sorry, and the T, what does that mean?
The T.
Okay. There was a T in it.
A te and a T. 1 te and a T, 2 te and a T. Een auntie, 2 aunties. 1 te and a T, 2 te and a T. Okay, here we've got leg movements with timing. The static, you see, this indication is that now we've got 4 beats in a bar. And in the Benesh, this is your starting position. In music, you start straight away. When the music starts, that's the beginning. But in dance, you always have a starting position to start. Or you start in the wings or whatever. You're always starting until you're moving. So then we have a starting position which has no value at all, no timing value. The time starts here, at the beginning of that bar line, which is there. I'll count 1, 2. So this goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and another bar line for the next bar. 1, 2, and then a Développé, 3, 4. And then we've got a double line again, which is the end of the sequence. Now, we've got examples of the timing using the AND beat. So there we've got, again, the starting position, no value. We go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay? And then here we've got 1, 2 and 3. 1 and 2, 3. So you've got 1, 2 and 3, which makes it faster there. So it goes 1, 2 and 3. Second bar, 1 and 2, 3. So that's how we use the music with the movement. Okay, next one. Okay, we've got the head positionings. These are 4 head positions: raised, lowered, turn to your right. Oh, I'm touching this. Turn to your right and incline to your left. Now remember, look at the dancer from behind. For up and down it looks the same. Here you've got to make sure that the head is turning to the left, because it's the face, the front of the body. So it turns to the left and then incline. So those are the 3 basic ones. which we use also for other parts of the body. So if we want to do that, or we want to do that, we can go forward from the floor, we can go forward from the hips, go forward from the waist, forward from the head. So it's all combined. But we won't use any of that in these lectures. There are more than 40 positions of the head alone. Because we use things like slight, medium, full. And slight, medium, full. And we've got slight, slight. And we get that position. If we use full and full, we get that position. You know, so it has to be very finely tuned. Because dance is like that. There's so many different positions you go through. Okay. Here we've got another combination of the head inclined and turned. So that's a combination. The guy you look at, you see he's lifting his left leg, his left arm is up, and the head is doing this. So it's inclined and turned to the right. So you see it's inclined to the right and turned to the right. So this position is also means that the leg is not in its own territory now. Because you mustn't confuse that with an arm and that with a leg. So it says that something's out of its own territory, put a little line through it, it means it's the leg. So his leg's up there and his position is that. The same with the girl, she's got her standing on the left leg, on the right leg. I've got that one screwed up, sorry. Standing on the right leg. So this left leg, no, she's right. This one. She's standing on the right leg. The left leg is up here and not in its own territory. And then the left arm is up and the right arm here. So we've got the head doing inclined to the right and turned to the left. So it's looking that way. But very slightly, actually. It's not that much. Okay. Here, you asked about what are those what's that dot with that line behind it? This is direction. Tells you exactly which direction you're facing. Because you can be facing the corner, the front, the corner, the side of the back corner. And in the dance, in the ballet syllabi, they call it corner 1, corner 2, corner 3, and it's different in each system. Corner 1, corner 2, front is 1, and then corner is number 5. We just call it left, right, front, back, left back corner, right back corner, left front corner, right back, right front corner. So it's much easier to see. So the sign we use for that. So you can imagine, you must imagine that we were always thinking of, you imagine that that little dot is you seen from behind, from above. So you're the dot, and you've got a tail. So wherever the tail steers you, that's the way where you're facing. So this person is facing the front because the tail is there. This person is facing back because the tail is there. Okay, so it's very easy to figure that out. You see now we've got just an example of with timing and also with changing direction. So starting again, facing the front, like their starting position, on 1, as the leg goes up and the arms go up, like that, and the head turns back, the position is then face the left front corner. And stay there when you close, then as you open the arms and lift the right leg again, you face the front. You stay there as you close, then in this part of the bar, you then go into a Développé arabesque, and the head turns to look over the arm. That's why the head is turned like that, to look over the arm. And you're facing there, the right front corner. You close, stay facing there. This cancels the head to say the head is back to normal again. Then, It says face the front. As you développé from there, you go face the front and close. So there you already have a sequence